Welcome to my super type A attempt at being Zen, the podcast. My name is Risha York, and I will be your host. If you are overworked, overtired, overstretched, overwhelmed, and just over it, you are in the right place. We like to say we are currently working towards Zen-ish. I'm thrilled that you've joined us. Let's see who will be supporting us on our path to Zen today. Thank you for joining us for part 2 with Deanna Palazzo. Let's jump back into the conversation where we left off. We were talking about how to get motivated.
Competitive with myself. So for me, I liked, okay, yesterday I did this. I want to go back at it and try again and do better.
Yeah.
Like I like that. But I'm just
Same.
like everyone else, a lot of people, I should say, but to just get started. I needed to just get started. So instead of waiting for the perfect, perfect weather, perfect all the things, having the right shoes and doing the things and having the right playlist, just go. Do it dirty. Just give it a go. If you fall on your face, you'll learn. But it became, that was what helped with me for that. Now, once I kind of learned how to do that, I'm like, okay, I now like running. I actually love it, which shocks me to even say that out loud, but I love it now. But then it became, I noticed coming out of, December and what have you, I was active, but not as active as I'd wanted to be. Kids were sick, all the things like everyone went through. So I was like, I need to now create a routine for me to get activity in. Busy lifestyle, no problem. My shop closes at 3. We've been doing these incredible wellness challenges with our community. Phenomenal workouts on there. They're never more than 23 minutes. So now I close my doors at 3 o'clock, 3:05, if someone's a little later. I guarantee myself that 25 minutes to do one of those workouts, and I still can make it, have my post workout smoothie and then still have time to catch my kids' bus. Perfect. Make that a routine because it's important to me. The afterglow. I also love what I get to have for my post workout. So my reward, I'm excited for my reward of my, thing I need for my thing, but it's different for everybody. Sometimes, Mel Robbins talks about like, if you struggle with even getting the workout in, sleep in your pajamas. You should, but sleep in your workout clothes. Put them right at the front door, so you have to step in front of over them. Figure out what is the thing that's blocking me from moving my body. Is there something I can do to get ahead of it? Yeah. If it's like, Risha, I hate exercise. Cool. Why? Yeah. Okay. What do you like? Do you like just dancing? You do? Perfect. Yeah. Put on some tunes around the house. Groove in your kitchen, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a certain thing. I think I hear it all the time from even my clients. It's like, oh, well, I don't have time to go to the gym I'm like, cool. And neither do I. Yeah. Right. I mean, this is it. We invested a lot of money in a swim spa for our backyard. And I mean, it feels convenient because it's right in my backyard, but it also requires upkeep. And in the winter, it's not super fun to go out there because of how it's laid out so I don't use it as much in the winter as I thought I would. But then at the same time, we have plans to do a renovation to the house that will make it super, super easy to use in the winter. But at the moment, like from spring to fall, that doesn't, just because I can't use it for 4 months or 5 months throughout the winter, doesn't mean that from spring to fall, it can't be a major priority. And also, there's moments in our life, I like to say, temporary moments in our life where not everything fits in the way that you envision it, right? You have really young kids, or somebody is sick, or you're caring for an ailing parent, or whatever that might be. Don't stress yourself out because you can't jam in your 30 minutes at the gym. Like,
Just
100%.
like you said, just move whenever you can, however you can. Sometimes I will equate it to like, okay, I'm gonna lay around because I'm exhausted after my kids get to sleep and watch a dumb show. I'll do those like really bad 1980s aerobics where you like lift your
I love
leg
it. I
and
love
just
it.
like over and over because I know I need to move, but I don't have
Yeah.
much left in me for the day,
Yeah.
right?
Totally. And I love that. I love that. And maybe it's just standing up and doing some jumping jacks. Maybe it's like sitting on the ground and doing some crunches or some sit-ups for like not even long, but it's doing something. It's
And
moving in some way.
maybe it's literally starting by learning to sit still
Hmm.
for 5 minutes every day.
And that's so important on its own. Like that is
Like,
that is so important on its own. And you mentioned stress. So another reason why I love, or sorry, stress and fitness. Another
yes,
reason why, so as I said, I now associate fitness with mindset.
yes,
The cool benefits of, maybe getting leaner, stronger, awesome. But mindset time. I'm going to have my mindset time. I'm going to do that workout because it's my mindset time. I'm
yep,
going to do this thing because it's my mindset time. Um, and that's another thing because you talked about swimming, and that was one of my favorites because I've always, whether it's being an actor, producer, wellness coach, whatever I'm doing, so much of it is reliant on having my device in front of me. And that's really for everybody these days. There's this sense of urgency that exists in
yeah.
this universe, which is crazy, right? Where it's like, I got this email, I got a response. Like I have one email I just got from my
It's
old boss, and I'm like,
awful.
it's fine. We can wait. He can wait.
It's awful
Um,
and it has to stop. Like, I am going to be the
but
first person to scream from the mountaintops. Like, don't bring your phone with you when you go places. I don't care about the pictures that you're posting about having a great time. Please just go and have
have a
a
great time.
great time.
Totally get it. But this is the thing. So, and I was at a training and they said the same thing. It's like, if your gym time is your mindset time, is your fitness time, like we do challenges. So every once in a while I have to snap a photo for that. The only time I will use my phone at the gym is
Yep.
to do that for my accountability group. And it's not like the entire workout. It's
Yeah.
one. It's to put on my podcast that I'm listening to at the gym and or Spotify. I
Yeah.
do not use my phone for anything else.
Yeah.
This is why I love swimming, because I had
You have no
every
choice.
excuse. I can't have my phone. I just have to
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Can I do one extra lap today? Like, and that's what I love about running, because it's very hard to run and text.
Yeah.
But I'm
We're actually
competitive. I
going to
want to beat
have
my time. I want to do my thing. So again, it's how, by allowing yourself that moment to disconnect. I know it's a scary word for some of us, for 20 minutes, half an hour, even if you have to use your device to follow a workout, turn off the notifications, don't look at any messaging, and let yourself be present in that moment
yeah.
and fill your cup that way. The fitness becomes the benefits becomes the bonus element to it. But it's really like, I am carving that time for me,
Yeah.
to fill my cup for me, to do something good for my body. So if it's dancing in the kitchen as you make dinner or breakfast, if it's, doing the 80 style workouts, which is amazing. I hope you wear like the fun socks and everything too.
I used to have them. I don't anymore, but I really want them. The scrunch sock. Do you remember
Yes,
those?
they were like built in. Do you have those ones? I had like all the colors.
I also really miss I probably 3 years ago lost my leg warmers. I had two sets of leg warmers and I lived in them all winter long. And I
Yeah.
can't find them anywhere now. And I'm just completely heartbroken because I loved them in the winter. But I would do that. I'd have my little leg warmers on. I'd be like laying around, just doing
But
my 80s Suzanne Summers style
but
workout.
what you're hitting to, Risha, is that it's an intentional choice.
Yeah.
And it's like a bit of a reprogram. Because like some people will just like be programmed to, like, after dinner, we sit down, we watch TV, we eat snacks. Have snacks if you want. My point is I could end my day sitting here doing this, or I could move my body a little bit, feel that nice adrenaline, those nice chemicals for a minute, feel good. If I need a snack, fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully have a healthier choice because it will help you sleep better.
Yeah.
But again, is it's all about that intentional choice. And what you, I can't remember what the quote is, but like, if you say to yourself enough, I hate exercise, I can't exercise, yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's a
won't happen.
self-fulfilling prophecy. Anytime you say things like that, I can't this, I should that, I am bad at blah. These are fixed mindset,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You can't, when we have a fixed mindset, there's no way out unless we start to realize that anything is possible.
Yes.
Anything.
I remember one of my mentors said to me once, she said in training, what have you? And it really stuck with me. Is it, was it, I, I can't or I won't. Like, tell yourself, I can't or I won't. If you can't do it, that's fine. But can you actually do it? And you just won't do it. And sometimes it's okay to say,
Mhm.
no, I won't do that. Like,
Yeah.
full on, you don't need my permission, but take it.
Yeah. Like boundaries are
However,
boundaries if you
just
set some
be
boundaries.
aware. Yeah, just be aware. If you're like as I said, shared before, I told myself forever, I can't run. Then I remember saying to myself, I can physically run. I've had to run for XYZ before. Like, if something happened to my kid, I'd be running. Like, whatever. So like, physically I can run, but I won't try. That's probably actually what's happening here. So
A
maybe
lot
I need,
closer to the truth. Yeah.
and then you're like, okay, I guess I should try. And it's
Yeah, it's
annoying when
funny
you
how when
start.
we get really honest with ourselves, the things that
Yeah.
start to come out,
Yeah.
um, that that is always very enlightening. And that constantly happens through your whole life too, right? Like no matter
Mm-hmm.
how evolved or self-aware or,
Yeah.
self-realized you think you are, there is always a truth that you are hiding from yourself. And then you
Mm-hmm.
find it and you're like, oh, shoot. Right. There
Yep.
it is. And it
Yep.
comes from a lot of places. Like you have to show yourself grace because these things come from a lot of different places, right? They can be
Mm-hmm.
from past trauma, they can be from modeled behavior, how you grew up, experiences. Like nobody
Mm-hmm.
is faulting you for those moments,
No.
right? But man, the freedom you find when you're able to pinpoint them and be like, oh, wait, it's not that I'm incapable of this. It's that I'm either afraid or there's something that I've put like a block in the way, and this is actually my responsibility to release.
Yeah. And
Wow.
fear gets in the way of everything in life, and it will till the end, because we're constantly going to be faced with new fears, a new challenge, and all
Absolutely.
of these things, and having been let down with certain things before, and whatever, as you said, past experiences, whatever's been passed forward to you. And I think that's why I said before about the expert, right? It's like, we're never, you know, a 99-year-old person still doesn't know everything, even though they have 99 years of experience on this planet.
Yeah.
Because look at the last 100 years of everything that's evolved. Heck, look at the last, 45 years of our lifetime, how much has changed. Like,
Yeah.
I was talking to my son yesterday about how he's like, oh, well, kids have this and this. I'm like, cool. When I was, a certain age, everyone else had, computers, and I was still on a typewriter.
Yeah.
I'm only 40, but we just didn't have that yet. And we made it work.
Yeah.
So again, it's like the evolution of the computer, like,
Oh, yeah.
whole other thing. I was sharing this morning, like, we've kind of hesitated in bringing the iPads and the technology into the home for
I
our own
appreciate that.
reasons.
Yep.
And now, literally within the last 2 weeks, I've had one teacher for my 7-year-old be like, we want him to go over these French books, follow with his fingers, they're PDFs. What am I going
Right.
to use? Then my 4-year-old has a game the teacher wants him to play on an app, on
Right.
a device. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm getting a device for my 4 and 7
You
year
don't
old
have a lot of
now.
choices, right? I know it really puts you
So
in an
it's,
awkward spot. I can appreciate that.
but
My
again, it's
husband
that
is
evolution.
really um I like IT nerdy savvy, whatever you want to call
Mm.
him. But anyways, he loves computers and rebuilding them and all that jazz. And so he had a very old laptop in the basement that he wiped clean and put a million limitations on to
Yeah.
give my oldest so that he could do things like tomorrow he has an oral presentation. He's got to build Google Slides. And I was like, That's quite
What?
the assumption. And he's got to do it from home. It was specific that it to be worked on at home and delivered on Tuesday, March 5th. And I was like, I okay, I hear that, but also like that is quite the assumption that everybody at home has a device that their child has access to and is allowed to
Yeah.
work on. I'm not
Yeah.
going to let him use my work computer, and my husband's
Yeah.
not going to let him use his work computer, right? Like it puts you in kind of an awkward position.
Totally. And it's again,
So,
it's just that idea of evolution, right? It's that idea that like things shift and change and we grow and change. And, you know, I used to be so scared of failing and falling down. And now I've learned what a gift it is because, you know, you use the analogy of the kid touching the stove. You touch the stove once, you're probably not going to do it again on purpose, but you can take that knowledge with you.
yeah.
All those gifts, all those, you know, all those things. And, you know, the years and decades of saying I can't run, I forgive myself for that because
Sure.
now I can, you know, all those things. I don't have time to eat, you know, make healthy choices. I've learned how to do that. It's
Yeah.
expensive to eat healthy. You can find a way if you know, you plan ahead, whatever it might be, because you really, it's an expensive world, friends.
Yeah.
And you know, you can make things work. It's just making the choice. And it's not a punishment to anyone for making whatever choice they
Yeah.
make,
Yeah.
but it's all about making those intentional choices and saying, okay, and this comes back to I think the most important thing is like, why is it important? Why is it important to you to wake up and feel good in the morning and be healthy? And what does that mean? What does that, how does that break down for you? If I'm going to have the healthiest version of my day, it looks like this for me. What's the healthiest version of Risha's day? What's the healthiest version of Joe's day? It's not all going to be the same because we're not all the same, which is what makes us all so fascinating as humans and makes the world go round.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is easier to, yes, to fall into old habits. But then if we're finding ourselves feeling crummy about the way we feel every day, not feeling comfortable in our bodies for whatever reason, you know, not having the energy, not having desire, having other challenges in our relationships because our mood is off, we're feeling, well, then you can keep doing what you're doing
Yeah.
and
Like
still
running
not
into a
feeling
brick
awesome.
wall repeatedly,
Or
or
can we make little shifts?
little
Little
shifts, small
shifts. It
changes.
doesn't have to be like, I'm cutting out all this and I'm just having water and turmeric and that's my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to each your own, to each
You're
your
gonna live
own.
off the water, turmeric, lemon juice thing
Do
forever.
it.
Yeah.
As long as you're healthy. Talk to your doctors, please. Disclaimer. But like, but at the end of the day is what little shifts
Yeah.
and self-celebrate and give yourself grace and don't punish yourself for a crummy day. Or, you know, I always say to my clients is like, you know, if you want to eat the cake, just don't eat the whole cake and maybe don't do it every day.
Yeah.
Right? Like life is to be enjoyed. We don't know how long we have on this dear planet, depending on your belief system. And I just, for me, I just want to make it the best that I can. And I'm gonna have my days where, you know, I eat too much pizza or Jamie decides he wants to make Irish nachos and I'm like, let's do that. Let's have all
Yeah.
the potatoes. And I'm like, that was too many potatoes. That was too many potatoes. But, you know, at the same time, it's, you know, the word gets tossed around a lot about balance. And I don't think there's a secret sauce because
No.
again, if you have health challenges, you know, your body composition, your age, your like there's so many variables.
Yeah, I
But
agree with you. I think
when it
that's
comes
actually the
down,
thing, like, because my last question to you is what do you wish
yeah.
you could help others understand that would bring them more peace in their lives? And I think, you know, that's it. It's everybody's journey is unique.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, you might find inspiration in other people, right? You might be influenced by other people. There might be even a program or a system or a something that really, really works for you. And yes, thank goodness. Like, that's awesome. Embrace it,
Yeah, totally. Totally.
right?
Yeah. And that's it. I think it's just, you know, just do the best you can. Like just we do have, you know, a short time on this journey. And if you do want to extend it, again, there's so many things that are beyond our control.
Yeah.
But it's, arguably the healthier that we can live. It does help couple the variables. And like we all have goals. We all have things we want to accomplish, big or small, whether we even give ourselves the grace of belief that we can, because we can accomplish anything we set our mind to. And I know sometimes it's hard to believe that, but it's little actions, the compound effect, whatever you want to say, that goes a long way. But
and there's something, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just appreciating like how amazing we are and how deserving we are of feeling good. And figuring out what that is for yourself. And if it's not, I think, as you said, is like, don't be afraid to say, that's not working for me right now. Maybe I need to explore something different. I'm talking about running. A lot of people are like, like running.
Not
no,
for me.
thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Maybe that's not your thing, but maybe Kangoo boots is, or, skiing or hang gliding or whatever, like
whatever it is,
like terrify me, right? But like whatever it is for you. But I think, one of the things in my value filter is also, joy. Is it bringing me joy?
Well,
because
and
if you're
actually
enjoying,
that's the part I really want to touch on, because I think, in my experience, when I watch, my mother did everything healthy. Everything we ate in the house was healthy. She was at the gym 5 times a week. Everything she did in her life was healthy choices, but there was also an overarching stress about it. And, she ultimately ended up with Parkinson's, and there's a certain element of this, like, that if you live in that stress space, if you're high anxiety about everything that you're trying to do for yourself all the time, that's also attacking your nervous system. And so when you're saying, like, give yourself a break, like, just do the best you can, I really, really want our super type A perfectionist listeners to hear that, because if you are stressing yourself out to the point where, I'm already doing everything right. I go to the gym and I do this and I eat properly and I'm okay, but you're killing yourself to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's neurochemicals that are working their way through your body. And if you are giving yourself undue stress as you're going through these steps, you need to pause and take a step back and find the joy in these things, or work on a mindset shift, or whatever it is that allows you to release that anxiety or release that stress. Or maybe you do need a visit to the doctor. I'm not here to tell you, I am not someone who can prescribe medication, but maybe there is a conversation to be had there, right? Because at the end of the day, when you live in that high oxidized stress space, it is damaging your body.
100%. And your digestive system gets affected by that too.
Yeah.
So you can be doing all of those things, but when you're super stressed, your anxiety's high. Again, speaking from the perspective of someone who does deal with anxiety, is acknowledging, I am not myself right now. My anxiety is peaked. What can I do to bring myself down? Breathing, whatever tool it is. But if we're living in high stress, you can be eating all the right things, you can be doing all the right things, but all of your body is focusing on calming that stress. It's not working down here on the digestive system. It's not working on all those things. And that's why those of you who might be working on doing all the things are getting frustrated because you're at a plateau. It's because you need to just fill the cup, calm it down, take a rest day. For those of you who don't take rest days, take a rest day. Your body needs the recovery too, as well as your mind. And find a space of calm. Reprogram one of those workouts, change the workout length to include meditation. If it's hard for you, yoga, something that's going to just calm the energy right down. Journaling, gratitude. Divide some of that time to bring that place of de-stress down. And find there's so joy. Much in our world to,
right? Like, find that joy, find the things that light you up, because the difference in your life, like, it's so funny. I will tell you right now, and it's kind of a crazy byproduct of the choice that I made at the beginning of this year. So the beginning of this year, I made a choice to focus on fun. This is
Love
my
it.
year of fun. That's my choice. That was my choice. And I, in super type A fashion, mapped that out for the year. What does that mean? So, in the month of February, it was about singing. I love to sing. And so I brought a lot more opportunity to do so into my life. I made sure that I could do that. Right. And
Mhm.
you have funny bubbles coming up on your screen.
Oh, it's because I'm laughing, or my thumb looks like it's thumb. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, but yeah, so I made this choice to have this year of fun, and what has resulted is a lot more calm, even in the storm of perimenopausal symptoms, a lot
Mhm.
more relaxation, a better balanced diet, a lot more time for exercise, a lot more time for myself, way more what I would call balance and peace, because that outlet of fun is being fulfilled. And
Mhm.
so I'm happier, I'm finding more joy, I'm more appreciative, I'm more grateful. It kind of spirals, right? In the other direction. So like all of you listening, I know we've all gone down the rabbit hole of anxiety where it spirals in the bad direction, right?
Mhm.
We're
Yeah.
like, this was shit. I'm shit. The world is shit. I quit everything. I'm gonna get in my car and drive away. And like that doesn't entirely go away, friends. Like you do still have to deal with that, but the focus on joy and fun and finding it
Yeah.
regularly has just shifted so much this year for me. And I've just gone through some pretty crappy couple years of
Mhm.
intense grief and heaviness. And I just decided this is what I need now is light and happy
Mhm.
and fun. That's what I need. And so to focus on it has been a real blessing and funny because, I I feel healthier. I
Mhm.
feel better.
Yeah.
Like I was plateaued at a weight for a while. I've started losing weight. Not that I'm actively like, I need to lose X amount, but I just am feeling better because that's the focus is just not
Yeah.
on the stress of trying to tick all the boxes and get all the things done, but to appreciate the joy and fun that I get to experience in my life.
Yeah. And I love that you've said choice, intention, like you set the bar. So it's almost like the universe is like, okay, you've opened the door for fun. Here you go.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you make like not making a choice is a choice. Making a choice of those things is so like it's a proclamation. It's however you want
Yes.
it. Like you literally are opening up the door for what you want, right?
And I
And
can get
it
derailed. Like,
makes a
don't get me
difference.
wrong. I still have
Yeah.
young children. So, the other day I was like, let's all go out for dinner tonight. And I was stoked, and my youngest was stoked, and my husband was stoked. And my oldest threw a massive temper tantrum that kiboshed the entire plan, which then
Yeah.
put me in a very sour mood. And I had to leave the
Mhm.
room and sort of excuse myself for a bit to talk myself off the ledge because I was like, that was supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And
And
it
that's the
turned
thing. That's life, man. That's life.
there's only so much you can do. You can't control everything, but what you can control is your reaction, right? And then it was like I came back out and I was like, look, I'm really disappointed because this is what I wanted to do. So I'm going to explain my feelings right now. And I'm sort of sad about it. And
Mhm.
it did offer an opportunity for my oldest and I to have a very interesting conversation around how compromise is important for
Mhm.
everyone.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that, this is a family of four, not a family of one.
Yes. Which is an interesting lesson for that age group.
Yeah. So these are fun conversations. And I mean, was that a fun day? It was
Yeah.
a challenging day, and I think we got a lot out of it. But you know what? Now it's like I can move past that and focus on the fun again. So what's fun today? What do I get to do that's fun today? You
Yep.
can't get derailed completely. There's going to be moments where you have to stop at the grumpy station, but move on.
Yeah. No, totally. Totally.
Right?
Totally get you.
Move along. So, what do you think we need to remember from today, Dee? Because I think you shared a lot of really valuable things.
Mhm.
And the part that I feel like you're really trying to drive home for us is the choice part. Can you tell us a little bit more about choices that you
Mhm.
think can help people make these little shifts?
I think awareness comes into play with it as well. So, you were talking about, why you get active, you love the afterglow. Just ask, don't be afraid to ask yourselves those important questions. I always start with why with everything. Because there's a million things we can do and whatever it is that's out there, what have you. Um, but just asking yourself why it's important to you. Like, why is it important that I, make the change what I'm having for breakfast, or I make that healthy choice in the morning? Why is it important to move my body for me? I know they tell me it's important, but why is it important for me to do that? There's always the idea of the seven layer why. Well, I want to be there for my kids. Well, why? Why is important? Like, keep digging there for yourself. I do believe whys should make you cry, because then you've hit the spot of what drives you every day.
Yep.
And I think then the choices become easier, because it's not to guilt trip us. It's just to say, like, well, I want to show up for like, I want to be able to be there for my why, to acknowledge my why, to again, I'm trying to say this without putting the pressure on ourselves, like you're going to get in trouble if you don't do the things or let someone
Yeah,
down.
no,
But
but it's
I think
positive
it makes it
reinforcement
easier.
training.
Yeah, I think it makes it easier for you to make the choice that's going to serve you best for your health,
Yeah.
and make you think, maybe I can go for maybe I'm going to go walk to the mailbox to get my mail today instead of driving. Maybe, and the cliche, maybe I'll park at the back of the grocery lot instead, and just try to walk, or maybe just do an extra round around the healthy sections of the grocery store, an extra lap just for a couple of steps. I'm already there,
Yeah.
like, but those little things that can drive you like that, like, what are some of the things that are not serving me right now that maybe I could adjust? Let me
Hmm.
think on that. Can I and act? Try.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that can happen? Right. And
So I love that. And I also love, as you know, I am a food lover. I love food. I have an obsession with food. And so a lot of times, because I just want to eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it, but that doesn't make any sense, right? Because
Mhm,
otherwise,
mhm.
I would just eat a lot of things I really shouldn't. French food is my favorite. There's a lot of butter involved here. Okay. So I can't eat that every single day. That's not manageable.
Yeah.
So, you know, finding the things that you can be passionate and excited about that are also serving you. So when you say, like, what am I doing that's not serving you? Maybe you're having a breakfast that is just not setting you up for the right day. Explore and find the one that turns you on, right? Like,
Mhm,
we can talk all we want about avocado toast, but I love it. It's
mhm,
delicious.
mhm,
And so, if you can find something that's going to fill you up with all those right nutrients that is doing
mhm.
something good for you and you feel great after you have it, stick to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe, is if it's something that is the cliche unhealthy, is there a healthier twist to it? Can I play? Can I explore? If you're busy, I understand. Like, is there ways to get ahead of the excuses? Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, if it's, I don't have time in the morning, well, can you make a big batch of like little egg muffins and something, and pop them in the freezer or the fridge so
Yeah.
you can grab and go? Like, so even on the busier day, like for me, I grab a smoothie. It's different for each person,
Yeah.
but
Like,
like
I love a
those
Friday
little
night.
things to step.
I
Sorry, Ed?
love a Friday night takeout. Like, I love a Friday night
Yeah.
takeout because it's no stress for me, but it's hard to find takeout that is like actually pretty good for you.
Hmm.
Recently, my big switch has been Mediterranean. We order
Hmm.
Mediterranean food because it's like, well, it's rice and meat and vegetables. And sure,
Hmm.
maybe the sauces are a little fattier than the ones that I would make at
Hmm.
home, but that is a very big difference between that and cheeseburgers or pizza or whatever else I might order in. So little
Yeah.
shifts like that can make all the difference in how you feel about yourself the next day. I don't know about anybody else listening, but if I eat pizza, I feel like crap for probably 48 hours. It does not love me. I do love it, but it does not love me.
Your type 1 diabetic friend understands your points. And I'm Italian, so it's even harder.
Well, this is it. Like my husband's Italian, they want all this Italian food. I have severe stomach issues like ulcers, reflux. So tomato sauce is like the
Very challenging.
devil.
Yeah. But I
And
think
they all love
too
it.
is that appreciation and like relationship with food too is like always again like just acknowledge it. Like I was for a very long time an emotional eater, occasionally can get caught in it too. Now I just try to be more intentional about what's in the house so I can try to curve anything like that, or we do a little reprogramming. Again, not perfect. I don't believe in it. But again, all those kinds of things is that kind of positive association. And I think another thing I just kind of, for that idea, and this may be not connected, but just the idea of if you are able to be in a situation, so people live on their own and that's fine, but like you were talking about family setting, for me was a big thing was like be present with mealtime as well. Like as much as how we feel physically is like slow down, be
Yes.
present, engage in conversations. Even if you're eating on your own, just be present with yourself. And that's another great thing about, going back to that fitness component is we're also afraid to put down the phones, to be alone with ourselves, to really think. So take your, like, if you live on your own, have that date with yourself every night and just like relax and think and process. Like some of my best thinking is done, yes, maybe going for a run, maybe going on the treadmill, maybe sitting for lunch by myself, or when I'm just allowing myself to have that moment of silence, in that moment of calm, acknowledge what's going on, stress in my day, and communication, whether it's communicating with people in front of me just to say like, how was your day? And believe me, God, this does not happen every day. I am so not like perfect every day. I have my days.
Yeah.
But the intention of we're sitting together. I want to know how your day was. I want to make eye contact with you. I want to know what's stressing you out. I want to know those things to the level of which you'll share with me.
Yeah.
If Jamie and I are having a day where we might not be communicating, like, this is how I'm feeling. Like you said it beautifully, step out of the room, collect yourself. Like those are winning days. They're not always going to be perfect. We're all going to have screaming match days where we're like, I know I should be walking out and taking a breath, but I'm in it to win.
But I'm in it and I'm reacting and you're going to get it. Yep.
But then on those days that you're like, you know what, good for me. I took the breath. I came back and had the conversation. Or, you know what, that was rough. I just flipped out of that person and I probably could have handled it better. I'm not afraid to apologize to my kids and my husband when I overreact or my anxiety gets the best of me and I flip out. As I said, I'm a diabetic. My sugars get high and low because it's cold outside sometimes. Like there's things that are beyond my control, which almost can make me bipolar. So that emotion of like, I'm sorry I overreacted. I woke up with a low sugar this morning. I didn't realize it quite enough. And that's why that's why I was more short tempered. And I just like, I want to acknowledge it.
And I think we all have things like that, right? Personally, I suffer from migraines. I have chronic pain. If you're having a day where you're carrying all this pain and you're trying to work past it and still be a functional human, like I've had days where I'm like, I shouldn't human today, but I have no choice.
I love that. I know what you mean.
Right? Like I should not get out of bed. I should stay right where I am and just sleep all of this off.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no choice. You have a responsibility for other human beings. You can't not participate that day. So sometimes we have those days, right? And whether it be chronic pain or headaches or, your sugars or whatever it is, grief, absolutely grief, all these things that come into play here and there, be aware of how they're affecting you. And like you said, like never be ashamed to say to someone, look, I'm sorry. I'm not here to excuse my actions because they were not okay. I'm here to apologize for them, but I'd like you to understand where it came from. Because I don't think in a lot of cases we intend to act that way.
And just to tie on what you're saying too, is like not eating properly, having too much sugar in our diet. Those are all gonna have a lot of those same, you know, energy spaces
Oh
and
yeah.
lack of clarity that we're talking about with the different health challenges. But if we're not getting enough sleep, we're not getting enough water, we're not getting enough good nutrition in us, all of those things can provoke the same stress, anxiety, arguments, where it's like you are almost like, am I possessed by something? No,
Yes,
I'm
I
just
notice it in
not.
my kids
Yeah,
all the time. My
totally.
oldest came back from a birthday party yesterday and he was fit to be tied. He was picking fights left, right, and center. And I was like, how much sugar have you had today? It was literally like you can tell he had
Yeah,
birthday cake, there was candy. He came home with
yeah.
a bag of candy. He was trying to eat candy before dinner. I was like, this is how we act when we have way too much sugar. And I have totally felt judgment from other parents. They're like, oh, they're kids, like let them eat whatever they want. I'm like,
Hmm.
right, but I have to live with him, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
I'm not trying to be harsh. Like, yeah, you're a kid and you can have some treats, but there's a limit in our house to how much sugar
Hmm.
you get in a day because you act crazy and rude, right? I don't
Yeah.
want that. And it affects adults differently, but it affects adults,
100%. 100%. Let
right?
alone the fact that, you know, if you're not getting enough nutrients in, if you're not getting enough stuff in, you know, we can live in this world where we're invincible, but eventually, like, it affects us in
It
some
absolutely
capacity.
does. Yeah.
So, and we've all had our moments, you know, I did in the past too, and I'm sure they'll come get me too later on. But like at the end of the day is like the little shifts we can make now, it just has such a bigger win at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's just making those, as I always go back to the little shifts. You
Yeah.
know, Rome
No, it
wasn't
makes
built
so
in a
much sense.
day.
And I think
Like,
for our super type A listeners, that's going to resonate for them because, we take on too much and we try and do too much and we feel overstretched and we feel like we can't get a win. And sometimes that's where that stress comes from. We have too much responsibility. We don't
mhm.
know how to say no. No one's asking you to take on a new task. No one's asking you to do something brand new and different. Just do the things you're doing in a slightly different way.
Yeah, because
Just
it'll give you a different result, right? Like if we're doing the same thing, gonna be the same result. If you
100%.
want a different result, we gotta find a shift
Yeah.
because otherwise we're just gonna disappoint ourselves in wanting something that we're not doing. You know,
You're not
one
working
plus one
towards.
equals two. It's gonna equal two.
Yep.
Keep doing 1 plus 1. But
Every
we if we
time.
shift it a little bit, right? Like
Yep.
if we shift it a little bit, and it doesn't have to be, because overwhelm is a lot, and that's probably its own podcast episode on its own.
Yeah, I
But
think that's going to be one of our later episodes for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, no, overwhelm is a lot. And so I think that's part of it is don't overwhelm yourself trying to bite off more than you can chew, like it's that old adage, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a
Mhm.
time. It's
Yep.
You're just going to do this one step at a time. You're only going to bring peace and balance into your life if you make these small shifts to your mindset, to your diet, to your activity level, to your social life, to all of these things. And hopefully, as you make these tiny little shifts throughout time, you start to see the results. I certainly have.
Mhm.
It makes a night and day difference,
Absolutely.
truly.
One step at a time, one baby step. What was it? Mel Robbins used to say, one Lego block at a time. So like those tiny little things. It's like we
Yeah.
think of Rome, the big bricks. Think of it even smaller. It's
Yeah.
it's like that beautiful compound effect that happens. You know, whether you believe in the 21 days to make a brick a habit, 90 days to lock her in, whatever it might
Right.
be, like whatever you want to think about it. But regardless, you you don't pick up a book, open page one, and then suddenly you turn the page and you're 365. You could do that, but you missed a heck of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that the journey is a page, is a brick, is a whatever it might be,
Yeah.
and accepts that some days you can't read the book.
Yeah,
Accept that some
100%.
days you can read a paragraph or you got to read the paragraph twice because you missed it because your kid was fighting with the other one. Like,
Yeah.
just acknowledge that
Yeah.
it's like, but if we close the book and we put it away, then yeah, we're still on the same page as we were. So
Yeah.
it's acknowledging that life is just a series of moments, and we just have to appreciate our journey, appreciate that we're going to have our good days and we're going to have our bad days. And I'm truly a believer, celebrate the crap out of yourself.
Yes.
Even on the day that Risha's in bed because she can't adult today. Because
Yeah.
guess what? You made, in the event you can, in the event that the world's able to spin without you, as a parent, but you made a choice to take care of you.
Yeah.
And that to me is also a win, right? Like,
Absolutely.
that's a huge win. And
Yeah.
even if it's for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I do that a
said that to
lot.
Jamie before. Like, I need 5 minutes. You parent. I need
Yeah, I
5
do that a
minutes.
lot, especially since we got a puppy. I'm like, you
Oh
go
my
out
gosh.
first and deal with the mayhem that exists out there. I will be back in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes after you've dealt with the initial poop on the floor and kids freaking out, I'll come out.
Yeah. Good cop, bad cop, whichever other one I am will be there present. Yeah.
That's all I can do some days. It's like
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna be able to buy myself. But sometimes that's all I need to come out there with a happy attitude, right? So
And
yeah,
that's
making those choices. Thank you for joining me, Dee. This has been really fun. It's always fun to chat with you. I always really enjoy your company.
same.
So I look forward to seeing you again soon. We'll figure that out. But
Yeah.
thank you again for sharing your knowledge with the people on the podcast and being present with us today and taking us through your journey, because I know you've experienced so much that I think is going to help so many people who are listening. So we're grateful to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a treat. Always a pleasure chatting, and you're all amazing. Just remember
Oh,
that. And yeah, look forward to next time, and continue listening to this beautiful woman. She's got a lot to share.
oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe to our channel wherever you listen to podcasts. Visit www.yorkmotivational.com for more information on my Super Type A attempt at being Zen, the coaching program, Lead Without Permission, or visit our contact page to reach out to Risha. Wishing you all continued balance and fulfillment on your road to Zen.